Hello, and welcome to my Patreon page where we have the fantastic Melissa Brayden with us tonight.
Hello,
Thank you
it's
for
me.
being here. Yes, it is.
I'm thrilled to be here, right from my house.
I miss your face. I miss you
I
and
miss your
sunshine,
face too.
and it's just so good to see you.
It's so weird this year. We're seeing each other, but on screens. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. We got to get out of this thing pretty quick, I think.
I know. Do you think there's going to be a P-Town?
My money's on it.
I hope so. Then I'll
Not
see
a
you in
lot of
P-Town.
money. I'll put a little money down on it happening.
I know.
A little bit.
Well, since they canceled GCLS or put it virtually, so that just came out recently.
It's kind of
I think it's going to be kind of the same as last year, where like 2 people, maybe 14. I think there were 14 people when I jumped on, and I actually stayed for it because I wanted to see who got what, and nobody was there, and I feel like it's going to be a repeat.
Where nobody was where?
At the virtual conference thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I stayed because I went in because the very first awards that they give is for that's not true. The second award was for contemporary short, and that was my category. So, and like it said, guests, 14 people.
That can't be right.
Yes, it was 14 people at the very beginning. Yes. So I'm hoping that they like try.
I was watching, so I feel honored that I was like, me and the 13 others were there.
Yeah, I was there, so 12 of us, 12 other people, you and me.
I was watching.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing too, and
yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
I don't think it was bad at all. I just think that people forgot, or it's also in the summertime, and people wanted to be out because we were so sequestered and we had to stay in.
Yeah.
And so I feel like people just completely missed it. I think Anna Burke said she was on a rowboat and she forgot about it.
Oh,
she was in the middle of the lake. So people missed it, but yeah. So if not July, then for sure October I'll see you in person.
I'm if it's up and running, I'll definitely be there. I'm excited to get back to some normal life.
I know. I miss hugs. I miss hugs a lot.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I'm just sitting in my house, so.
Yeah. You have a cute little boy to hug though.
And he's quite the hugger.
Yeah,
he's quite the hugger. So I am set up on that front. I do feel very lucky, but there is a counter side to that, which is that because of the pandemic, he is not in daycare, and so he doesn't leave.
Yes. So you're writing and watching a toddler and entertaining.
Yeah, we're coming on a year now that I have had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old before Velcroed to me. So if you've never done that before, and I hadn't, I don't know that I'd recommend it. Daycare was invented for a reason. Yeah,
I have been around toddlers and they're fun. They're fun for a certain amount of time. If they're not yours, the line is always, it's okay to have fun with them, have a great time, but you can always give them back.
I just want to know what it feels like to miss him a little bit for a couple hours. Like I'm away from him for a couple hours and I want him back. I don't know what that's like anymore. He's never gone from me.
But he's going back. You said next month, right?
Next month is the goal. Good. I mean, provided everything is going in the right direction, and that will be a very surreal feeling. I don't know. I'll be like the Home Alone kid racing through my house.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then you won't settle down, and you'll have to write.
Yeah, which I'm doing right now at like 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, it's the only way to make it happen is to hit my goals is to get up way before him and have an actual good portion of a work day before he greets the world with his sunshiny face and then takes over and dominates my life for the rest of the day. So it'd be nice not to have to get up at 5:15.
Right. I don't even do that. I do my writing I usually start about like 10 or 10:30.
Yeah,
and I'll do writing sprints that late. And it's funny because sometimes what I write is really good. And sometimes I'm like, what was I thinking? Because, I get up at 6. And so however late I go to bed, the later it is, the weirder my stories become.
Well, I find when I write at night, and sometimes I would pre-pandemic, my stuff is crazy dramatic. I'm like, and then she died. I'm like, no,
No,
that's
she
not,
doesn't die.
that's
Don't
not a Melissa
kill him. No.
Brayden book.
No, it's not.
What were you thinking last night? Or there are just these huge leaps I take when I'm writing at night. So I have to be careful because I'm crazy dramatic apparently after 9 p.m.
That's
That's what
funny.
they say. You should never have an important life conversation after 9 p.m.
Oh,
because you're
really?
super, yeah, never break up with anyone after 9 p.m. Never have a hard talk. Never bring up something that bothers you. It's after 9
Like,
p.m. You got to wait.
but
You'll
that's, I
screw up
mean,
your life.
I'm
You
gonna
will.
maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's because I have made all these decisions after 9 p.m. Now I know. Now I know.
That's the rule. You can't do any of that stuff. No.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So today is we're going to talk about your book. Your
Yes.
final book in your series is out today.
The
How do
grand
you
finale.
feel about it? Yes. How do you feel about it?
Good. I'm happy about it. I'm happy to have it out there. I'll miss writing in Tingle Valley, but it's time. And I think once you've been working with a group of characters for a while, you always have an affinity for them, and you'll always love and you'll miss them. But you also get ready for something new. And so it's bittersweet, but I'm happy that it's out there and that people will get a chance to read the final chapter. That's kind of works for books.
Yeah,
Final chapter.
it does. Yeah. Final chapter. What a tangled web. Yeah.
Yes, what a tangled web. And this one, the series surrounds 3 best friends, and each gets their own book and their own romance. And so this is the final friend, Madison's love story. And so she kind of got entangled, if you will, in book 2. And so we want to see kind of what her ending is going to be. And this is that opportunity. And of the 3 books, I'm really pleased with this one.
I think Madison kind of she needed to have her story. I think a lot of people were kind of, Madison.
Yeah, some people are mad at her.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that, but okay.
No, they are.
Yeah,
they are. I've gotten people who are staunch defenders of her, and I have people that are downright mad at her and are saying, I don't know how you're going to make me forgive her. And I say, challenge accepted. Let's see how it goes.
Well, and that's the perfect thing. I mean, you've got to love it when readers really take to your characters and are very passionate about them. I mean, I love that. And
I would much rather make
you. Endearing.
I'd much rather make you feel something, even if it's negative, right, than feel nothing. So I'll take it if you're mad at me.
That's right.
That makes me happy. You can be angry.
Well, I know it's going to be successful because all of your series are very successful. And so your next endeavor, is it going to be a standalone, or is it also, you're doing a standalone?
Yeah, I'm finishing it now, actually.
Wow.
I'm on the heading towards the end now, and it's called Marry Me. Ooh. And it's a bit of a love triangle. It's a bride who goes to a very high-end wedding planning corporation, like the really hard to book company to plan your wedding, like for the really rich people only get them. And she's lucky enough, she just kind of stumbles into the opportunity, and as they're planning the wedding, some things happen that maybe alter the course of their lives forever. But it's called Marry Me, and it will be out in the fall.
That's sweet. Marry Me. I like that. Yeah. I like that.
But who's going to get married? We don't know. We don't know.
Love triangles. You never know with these things. Never turns out the way you think it will.
This one might, but it might not. You'll have to see.
Yes, your books have, everybody always talks about how a writer grows with every book, and when you read them, you see them grow. And like for me, reading your books, the one that changed everything for me, I think, was Strawberry Summer. I think that was probably, I'm assuming it's one of your more successful books. Yeah. And I felt like that. I felt a shift for me reading your books up until Strawberry Summer. I felt a shift in that book because of things that happen in that book.
It's a little angsty, isn't it?
It is a little angsty. And so when I got to the Tangled Valley series, like I think in the very first book I told you about it, it was a roller coaster, a true roller coaster. And I was not expecting that from you. Because it was
I beat that character up in the first book.
Yeah, you did. So
you know what I've noticed, and I don't know if it's true of Strawberry Summer. I think I've written 3 books in first person, which I know is your preferred tense to write in. And so I've written 3 I find that much like writing at night, I'm more dramatic in first person. I think I go like deeper emotionally. I think I have some less expected plot points, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's being in the driver's seat of that main character makes me kind of go for it more, but I think that might have been what happened with Strawberry Summer. And then I did Back to September again, and then I kind of went some places there too. So maybe that's, I think my next book might be first person. I'm kind of figuring it out.
Oh, yeah, I actually am doing edits for Not Guilty, which is first person present tense, and I haven't.
Oh my goodness, bless your heart! I can't do it. I can't.
I haven't done it, so it's Shameless, but the other character's point of view in Shameless. So when I finished up everything else and I started writing it, I started it in third person because I was coming off of edits, I think on Lucky or something. Yeah. And so that was my first third person book. And so then I went to, and I was like, wait a minute, this Shameless is in first person. So I wrote it first person past. And then when I got to the scene that I had to recreate from the other character's point of view, I had to pull up Shameless and read it. I was like, holy crap, this is present tense. So then I had to go in and change everything else to present tense. So.
Oh no, I don't know that I would have just left it. I've been like, oh, well. Oh, well, this happened.
I really, because I'm reading it, I'm doing a last read through, and I actually kind of like it because it has such a different vibe. Yeah. It's such a different vibe, and so I really like it.
It does mix things up a little bit, and that keeps it interesting. I think for us readers, that when we pick it up, it keeps us on our toes a little bit more.
Right. So they're not going through the whole, this is another Kris Bryant first person book. It's like, this is a little different.
Yeah, you threw us for a loop a little.
But it's Britt Ryder anyway, so.
Oh, right. What are we talking about?
I forgot about that.
My dog is named Ryder, and I'm wondering if you were inspired by him.
Interestingly,
he's not a sexy dog. He's just a regular dog.
Well, it's kind of a play also, because I think you and KB Draper.
We got the dueling Ryder dogs.
Yeah, and like almost at the same time too. I think it was like at the same time. How old is Ryder? How old is your pup? It's exactly. Ryder just had his 5th birthday, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with both of you, both Ryder.
You're gonna say it's a tie. I don't know that I believe you, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it anyway.
It's a tie.
Okay.
And then the Brit part was because I always like to pretend like I have a British accent, and I'm horrible at accents. But
okay.
Yeah, so Brit was just kind of a play on, I'm just gonna do this because I didn't really think that this was going to turn into anything. I didn't think Brit Ryder was going to be anything, and
yet here we are.
Here we are. So we'll see what a full length erotica is how it's gonna turn out. I don't know.
Saucy is what I'm thinking.
Probably.
I've got my big bucks on saucy.
Saucy, yes, and yes, and there are some interesting scenarios in this book, which. I can
only imagine.
Yeah, I kind of push it, but that's okay because I think sometimes you have to push yourself,
Oh yeah.
And so
after 9 p.m. writing.
That's my 9 p.m. writing, and then the next day I'm like, wow, where did this come from?
Who wrote this?
But sometimes I really am like, wow, this is really good, or oh my gosh, I wasted 2,000 words on absolute crap.
It could go either way, but you got to take that risk.
I know. Okay, so let's get to some important questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
We all want to know the truth about Melissa Brayden.
So many truths.
I know. Favorite donut? We know you love donuts.
Yeah. But if I'm gonna walk in, I want a good glazed with chocolate frosting on top and then the peanuts.
Oh, you're the peanut kind of girl.
Yeah, but don't give me the cake donut with the frosting and the peanuts. That's happened before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where you can, I would need it to be the glaze, the brioche, but that's my go-to. It's been my go-to since I was probably 8 years old. I mean, it's just a favorite.
And here's the weird thing.
No donut will be turned away.
Exactly.
Be honest. Yeah.
Exactly. There's like the only one maybe I won't eat is the Long John with the caramel on top. That it's like
just hand it over.
Okay.
I'll eat that. I'm serious. There's no donut I can come up with in my head that I would not want. Yeah.
I don't know. We had a donut place down in Westport down in Kansas City, and
Hmm.
it was one of those gourmet type donuts where you could get
Yes,
like
there's a
bacon and
lot of them
eggs
now.
on top of a donut and some weird
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't know if COVID changed all that because I haven't been down there in a year, so I don't know if it's gone or not. But
I bet it's not. Like our artisan donut shops are thriving and they literally are charging like $4.95 a
it's
donut. And people are like,
ridiculous.
take my money, give me the donut with the bacon.
I can't afford
And
my rent, but I want this donut.
yeah, yeah, give it to me now. So I kind of have a feeling that your donut shop is in good shape.
Probably. And I
Yeah.
did, and yeah, and there was like when it first opened, it had like like super long lines and everything. And I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I like here in Kansas City, Lamar's is hands down the best donut place
Okay.
at Lamar's for sure. I actually have
Okay.
Lamar's on DoorDash.
As well, you should.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
will spoil myself sometimes and get donuts on the weekends.
Please do. Please always continue to get donuts. Life is better that way.
Exactly.
You can quote me on that.
Yes. So okay, so we got the donut. And I kind of like I'm just all over the place with my questions tonight.
Okay, let's just be wild and crazy and all
We're
over the
just gonna
place.
go. So here's the thing. We talked a little bit about Ryder. What about Apple? Apple had
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah,
Your
she's
other
a
puppy.
mess. Yes, Apple's my little girl. She was the runt of her litter. She's an Irish Jack Russell, so it means her colors are inverted because she's technically like a hunt terrier, which means that instead of being like a white Jack Russell with brown spots, she's a brown Jack Russell with white.
Oh, okay.
So she's already, special little cupcake that she
Mhm.
is. But she is a hardcore athlete, and she has had two different knees go, where she's had
Mm.
the human equivalent of an ACL, which is a
Yeah.
CCL and canines. And so the surgery that you have to have is super prohibitive for like 8 weeks. She can't do anything. And so I mentioned earlier, I have a 2-year-old Velcroed to me. Now I have a dog Velcroed to me
Dog.
as well because she can't jump. She can
Oh,
jump on furniture, but she's not allowed
not
to because
supposed
it'll
to.
ruin.
No.
Yeah. So she's my Velcro dog right now. We're on week 3 of
Oh my
8.
gosh.
So we're gonna get through this. And then she's
Yeah.
got no more knees.
Yeah,
There's
this is
only 2
it.
back knees, so
Right.
we're good. We can go back to life after this. But
Yeah.
bless
See, that's
her little
kind of what
special
happened.
heart.
She's adorable. Yeah,
Hmm.
I remember when you got her.
She was 3
Um,
pounds. Yeah.
just a baby, tiny.
Hmm.
Molly had kind of the same problem. She did both of her knees at the same time, and so they
Oh
were
no.
only able to really work on one of her knees.
Yes.
So in that one, and that was like 6 years ago. So she's still crippled, but because they could only do so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, but she's in the other room, or else she'd spend some time with us. But she
Yes.
too, obviously, she doesn't move around much.
Yes. I'm
But
hoping Apple will be good as new when
oh,
we're
I
done
hope so
because she
too.
is young. She's only
She's super young.
5.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully she'll be back to dribbling the soccer ball soon. But
Not so
it's gonna
adorable. I
take a
love those
couple
videos.
months. Oh yeah, she's a whiz. She goes through the trees.
Yeah.
She has total ball control. That one. She's great.
So speaking of athletes, you are like a superstar. You do let's see, let me think of all the things that you have. We have skateboarder. We all know that you're like this
Uh,
X Games skateboarder
well,
champion.
not now. I mean, like when I was a kid, I
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
champion. I was just like the neighborhood kid, like we would build our own ramps and skateboard around, and then we would get like a field trip to the skate park. And so, yeah, I was dropping in on full size half pipes when I was 12, and I would be like one of 2 girls out of like 40 boys, trying to keep up with them and doing okay.
Yeah, I
But
bet.
yeah, no competitions, but I loved it. It was just a hobby.
I like saying X Games because why not?
You can.
I'll X Games.
Go for it.
And but you were like this massively successful bowler, like over in
Yeah, that
Europe.
was competition. Yeah, when I was in the 6th grade, I was the junior European bowling champion, and so I got to compete for England and travel to Germany, and then I won for Europe. So
See?
got my little claim to fame trophy and
That's
enjoyed that
rolling.
for about a year until someone else took the title. And then
And
I
then what
realized I
I've
wanted to
done.
be a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started going to the mall and realizing like, oh, there's other things. And I wish I'd stuck with it, right? But
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. What are you bad at? Are you bad at anything? I don't think so.
Yeah. No, no, I am. The tragedy of my life is the fact that I am awful at gymnastics or cartwheels or anything like that. I
Okay.
mean, you can think back to, when you're in elementary school and you have
Okay.
like the gymnastics unit. I would beg my mom to write me a note to say that I had injured myself and couldn't. She wouldn't, because she refuses
Right.
to tell a lie, but it was just mortifying because the girls would execute these picture perfect cartwheels, and I was
Mhm.
super competitive. I mean, you know this about me.
Right.
And it wasn't good, and I'm a little scarred from those experiences
Mm.
to this day because I was probably the worst at it. I'm still the worst at it. It's awful.
So this is how bad it was at my was it middle school? I think it was middle school. I think we stopped doing gymnastics in middle school. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain it was
Sixth
middle
grade was
school.
my last year, and I didn't realize it was my last year, but praise baby Jesus, it was.
Well, here's how bad it was for me. Like they had, if you wanted an A in the class, you had to do this, 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 and this. And if you wanted to get a B, you had to do this, this, this. So I would go for the D because I couldn't do anything. I like
I
for the
think,
grade, either
yeah.
C or D.
Okay, so you feel me on this
I
then.
100% feel
We're
you.
we're
But give me
kindred
a
spirits.
basketball or
Yeah,
running or
yes.
volleyball, I got it. Try to get me
Mhm.
to do a backflip or a somersault. No, I can't.
Yeah.
Or even the little beam, like they even had you tumble, like roll. And like I would
Yeah.
still roll and I'd like roll off to the side. And that's why I always got the D in that. That sounds horrible. I gotta quit saying the D because that means something totally different. So the
Oh,
low
we don't want to
grade.
be quoting you on that.
So I used to get the C
Uh,
minus in
we'll
gym for
say
that.
that.
So
Well, you didn't get a great grade. We'll say that. Yeah.
that's right. But I made up for it
I
and
completely identify.
yeah. So I'm with you on the gymnastics. I think that's a horrible thing. And
So sad.
I think, physical education is so important, but if you suck at it, then you shouldn't make the kid feel bad. Try something else.
Yeah.
How about run? Just go for a jog. Jog. If you don't want to play
Yeah.
basketball or if you don't want to like do a tumble, then go do some pull-ups or something. As long as you get exercise, I think it's important. I
I'm
think it's
for
too
that.
stressful in school for freaking physical education.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
And it sticks with us. Look at us all these years later,
I'm still
wallowing
angry.
in our sorrow over cartwheels. Damn it.
Find my gym teacher and I'm going to speak my mind.
Yeah.
She's probably dead because I hold her in dirt, but that's awful to say. Okay, so let's see what else here. Here's one that I want to know your answer to.
Okay.
Do you watch crime shows? Dateline,
Um,
2020, anything, or like SUV? What do you got? What do you listen
I'm
watch?
obsessed with crime shows like Dateline 2020,
Hmm.
48 Hours,
Oh
The
yeah.
First 48. I record them every week and I watch them every week. I also love documentaries about murder. I like
Mhm.
murder shows a lot. I've noticed I like a lot of the movies. Like I just watched The Small Things with Denzel Washington that kind of
Yes.
dealt with a serial killer.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like those kind of movies. I notice I don't watch a lot of like procedurals. Like you won't see me with a Law and Order too often.
Okay.
But I'm
Mhm.
obsessed with true crime, especially when I'm stuck at home. I tend to binge them. I had a hospital stint in 2015, and so when I got out, I was pretty much relegated to couch. I just watched The First 48 like nonstop. If you don't know
Nice.
that show, look it up. It's really,
Oh
really
yeah.
good.
Oh for
But yeah.
sure. Like I
Mhm.
watch usually I'm usually watching like 2020 or Dateline with Paula. I'll text her. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, which one are we watching this week?
Yep.
And so which was the last one? I actually watched both because I record 2020 and Dateline. And it was
Yeah, me too.
the basketball player who was murdered. And it turned out to
Yeah.
be his wife.
I know. I just watched that one this weekend.
So
But
yeah.
it made me mad because when I started it, I recognized the storyline from like this was
Uh,
Dateline, but like 2020 had done it years ago, and I'm like, wait a sec, I know this story,
no.
but you stick with it anyway.
Yeah, I actually hadn't seen it, and Paula was like, "Oh yeah, I saw it when I go. It's new, it's brand new." And she's like, "No, no, I saw it
I
on something
know.
else." So she knew, but I
Yeah.
love crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, out of all the crimes that you know about, what is the one that you wish you knew the answer to?
John
Because
Bonet. I don't even have to think about
right,
that. I mean,
No.
that is the one that is so puzzling because the evidence points in so many different directions.
I'm like,
Um,
everybody's dead now. We'll never
yeah,
know. Everybody's
we
dead.
will. I think we will because we have the partial DNA and the technology that comes with familial DNA, where they can put it in the system and then track it to your distant cousin and then make their way back to you. That's going to get more sophisticated. And when that happens, that partial DNA is going to come into play. Look at me, I'm a detective all of
I
a
know
sudden.
you are.
That's what I should have been.
That
Missed
is
my
your true
calling. I
calling.
didn't know.
Yeah. I have watched so many things about that. It's like, oh my gosh, it was her father. And then, oh, it was the brother. And then it was the coach. Some other, oh, it's the stranger who came and stayed with them one night or whatever. It was,
My current theory is stranger, but I don't know. I just don't know.
I just have a hard time with stranger. I just,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like, well, we knew about what Elizabeth Smart. I think that's her name,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Smart,
Mhm.
because she came
Mhm.
back and she was able to talk and about the stranger who took her. So, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it happens. I just feel like, um, I don't, it had to have been somebody in the family. I feel
I
like
don't
it was
know.
somebody in the
There's a
family.
footprint outside the basement window. Don't forget the footprint. We might be getting too specific for people watching, but just
That's
bear
true, because
with me.
that could be
Don't,
something we can talk
yeah, we'll
about.
talk about, just don't discount the stranger theory.
I know I shouldn't, but I'm always so hesitant with, like, his family. I was just like, and to put your child through that at such a young age, the whole,
Clearly some parenting issues, yes.
yes, clearly. And we know that mom was a little high strung about that, and dad was just a
Mhm.
little bit off. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with family. You're gonna go with stranger. We'll get back
Okay,
together
we'll
after this
see in
DNA
10
happens.
years.
10 years. I'll call you up. Hey, that documentary's on Dateline or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
right.
okay. So, what shows are you watching now? What are you binge watching?
Okay, well, first of all, define binge watching because I get some flack for
Yeah,
this. I
that's
don't know that
true.
I'm a true binge watcher. I love TV and I watch a lot of TV, but I like a variety. And I don't think I've ever watched more than 3 episodes of something in one sitting. I think that's my record. But I'll choose a show and watch like one episode a night. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
consuming them fast. I don't know if that's a binge or not. I binged Downton Abbey when the pandemic began.
Okay.
And then I binged The Americans. Do you know that show?
I
Russian
do know them, the
Spies.
Russian
Check it out.
spies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then like Night Stalker. I just
That
watched.
I don't.
It's on net. Oh, you got to watch it. It's like Dateline.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sweet.
4 of them, and then the series about the Golden State Killer. I binge watched that. I love reality TV. Guilty pleasure.
Yes. Yes. I actually
That
just
kind of thing.
watched right before we got on. I just watched Ghosted on
Okay.
MTV. So
I've
like
seen it
there's
before. Yeah.
yeah. It's
I'm
it's
more of a catfish girl,
I
but Ghosted
love
is fun. Yeah,
Catfish.
yeah, I love catfish.
So for sure I can binge watch
Obsessed.
Catfish. But if I've seen it, I don't
Yeah,
want to see it again. It's one of those where like I record it and then it's like it shows up in my DVR because I never know. You never know when something's going to show up anymore.
that's
Just because I
true.
mean everything's so you never know up in the air. And
Yeah,
so tonight I watched Ghosted. So it's back.
yeah,
I'm watching it.
that's
And
a
it's
fun
like,
one.
yeah. But Catfish for sure. I love Catfish. I'm like, how can anybody be catfished anymore? Do you know how many
I don't
times
get
I
it.
Google image search things? It's unreal. I have learned
I
so
know.
much from
I
Catfish.
think people want to believe so badly that
Mhm.
they allow themselves to. I think if they really wanted to know the truth, they could find it on their own. But they want love so much, and that just breaks my little heart for
Does.
them.
Does. And it
Hmm.
happens so much. Think about, well, you were like 2 when the internet came out. So back, in my
Was not.
day when it was AOL and you had the chats,
Yeah,
those
I had all
people,
that.
like
Hmm.
how many people were catfished, 30 years ago with AOL, the chat rooms, and they had so many created, I don't know
You could
if you
easily,
remember,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like you could pick something you really liked. And like I met a lot of people through 10,000 Maniacs chat because I loved the 10,000 Maniacs when I was a kid. And
I met a lot of
so,
people through Peter Pan, the musical room.
see, okay, so you too, Peter Pan. Hey, but that is your
Broadway
thing.
musical.
Yeah,
I loved Peter
musicals.
Pan as a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
I've got a
Yeah,
crow.
so so yeah, so catfish is my thing. I love watching it. I'm like shocked that people will still get catfished. and especially the older ones. And even if they've seen the show, like do what they do.
I
Put
know,
that phone
it's not
number in the
hard.
search, do
Yeah.
the Google image search and do all that.
They don't want to know. They want to live the fantasy.
I know. And then when it happens and it's real, you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's amazing. Like how many, like 10% of them turn out to be like real people, real genuine people. So that's always
that's
nice.
the shocking one. Yeah.
That's the romance. Like that is the romantic in me.
We want the happily
sure.
ever after for the catfish people.
I know, because I feel so bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching nothing but TV. Like I literally am like, I have a book to write, but here's another episode of Ghosted, or oh, I need to watch the 911. I'm watching like normal TV.
Yeah, I mean, and you also have to understand, I'm watching a lot of like Dinosaur Train and
right.
Santiago of the Sea and Blaze and the Mon. Yeah, so a lot of my TV time is not for me.
Not for you, but you'll watch it because it's stimulating in a certain way, even if it's kids.
Whatever
stuff.
you need to know about a pterodon, just let me know. That's a dinosaur, by the way.
Dinosaur, yes. So like one of the very first, when I was a kid and I learned how to read, the first 2 books I always would go to the library and get. I always used to get books on dogs and books on dinosaurs. So like that, I know dinosaurs and dogs.
I would get biographies because my parents would pay me $3 a biography.
Wow. So you probably know a lot about presidents. And
the first one I read, I was in the 4th grade. It was Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters biography. I would like my $3, please.
$3. I love that. Yeah. But you know what? And you learned a lot probably. Did you read Hillary Clinton's one or Cokie?
I have it. I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. it takes a lot for me to read a biography. Just because bits and pieces already of this person's life. So it takes, okay, I'm gonna have to read this from the beginning. I kind of want to be surprised.
Those are some long books too.
Yes. People have stories, and they like Becoming is a really big book by Michelle Obama. That's a really big book. I have that I need to read. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her book.
Yes, I just got Obama's book.
Oh, see, look at this. Yeah.
And I looked it up. I thought, I'm not an audiobook person, but maybe this is one I could listen to. And it's like 29 hours. I'm like, no, I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I could read a lot faster than the audiobook, even if I speed up an audiobook.
Yeah.
And honestly, my very first audiobook was yours.
Really? I haven't heard any of mine.
I can't listen to mine either.
No.
But I was on a trip I was talking to Rad. I went down to Lone Star for one of the Lone Star Festival. And from Kansas City to Dallas, it's 8 hours. And so it was the Seven Shores series. It was the yes. So and the book was 8 hours and like 14 minutes or something like that. So I got there and I still had 14 minutes left. So I had to sit in the rental car and listen to it finish because I didn't think
told you what happened.
I know. So I was talking to Rad because we were talking about the up and coming audiobooks. She was going to put everything on audiobook and liking it. And I told her about that. I was sitting out in the car listening to finishing up your audiobook. So you were my first. So I listened to you on the way down, and I listened to Alley Valley on the way up back home.
There you go.
So it was good.
Cool. That's perfect.
I'm honored. You're welcome. I started off with some good books, so that was good. Yay. But I can't listen to my own either. I can't do it.
No, it's impossible. Even if they do a great job, it's nothing about the performance. It's just your own work and how you imagined it versus how it's said. It's just a weird thing, but they do a great job. They do, but not for me to listen to.
You're Melissa Sternenberg, is that her name?
Yeah. She's done like the last half of mine, I want to say. And then I had a few other narrators before that.
And she did a great job. She really did.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was surprised. She sounded like you.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah, so she did a good job. So, okay, so we talked about crime shows. What is the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you?
That could go a lot of directions, but I would say, okay, so when I was 4, my sister was 10, and JCPenney's was having a Pac-Man competition on the Atari, and you would come, like tournament, like a Pac-Man
Oh,
tournament.
cool.
And so she really wanted to go. And so my dad took us. And when we got there, they had like a little kids section where you could enter the Pac-Man coloring competition. And so to keep me occupied while she was doing the video game tournament, I entered the coloring competition. And later when we were shopping in the JC Penney's, they announced me on the loudspeaker as the winner of the coloring
That's so
competition. And I
amazing.
cite that as like a lucky thing that happened to me, because I think that was the first time that, like, as a young little girl, I got like a shot of confidence that I could
Yeah.
really do something. I'm
Yeah, that's
capable of
awesome.
like winning the coloring competition. I really do think that started me on a path towards ambition and for really
Oh,
kind
that's
of
awesome.
shooting for the stars, because I got that validation really early. So if that would be my earliest and probably biggest thing that helped me formulate into who I am.
So then what happened to your sister? Did she do
She
well?
lost royally. She was 10, and it was, a competition all the way up to like
That's true.
16 years
Oh,
old. And
wow.
so
Yeah.
she was out of her league, but I was the champion of the day, and I was given as my prize a
Oh, yeah.
blue Pac-Man t-shirt,
Nice.
which I wore
Nice.
for, a good portion of time as my victory shirt, all around my sister.
That's awesome. I think I had one time when I was 5, Santa called me from, and
Oh.
we were on TV. So like I could
Mm-hmm.
see Santa talking to me. It was the weirdest thing. He called me from the
Yeah.
North Pole. So that was amazing.
Formulative. Yeah.
Yes. And then I won, like, way back in the day, and they still do it now, but it's different because everything is virtual or online or something like that. So back in the day, I think it was Captain Crunch, and I got like
Mm-hmm.
30, I won 30 games. Like 30, they
Oh.
said, so I, like, whatever it was, I got it, and it says, oh, send us your information. So I mailed them like my address, and 30 games. I'm thinking, oh, my sister and I just remember we celebrated for like 5 minutes
Your head
straight,
exploded.
like
30
yelling, and we're high. I know,
games.
we're high-fiving. We're just like, woo, we're so excited.
What?
And then it finally comes in, and it's like a piece of paper. And it's like
Yeah,
cut
I was worried about what
out.
you were about to say.
Yeah, and it was just cheap, and you cut it out. I was like, golly, that was a little disappointing. But the fact that I won something was pretty exciting though too. So I
That's
get really
exciting,
proud.
that part. I'm just sorry you were let down, little Kris.
I know, it was
What are you
sad.
gonna do?
So the good news is my sister was like, she was right there with me though. That sucks. This is unbelievable. I'm so
Awesome.
angry.
Good
So like,
teammate right there,
right.
sis.
Because the difference like in ages, my sister's 4 years older. So like there's a point when you become annoying to your sister.
Sure.
And so we were at that age. So to find things that we could, just kind of like,
Yes.
just kind of be sisters about. That was one of the things
Uh-huh.
that we were sisters about. So that was good.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Hmm. So you have how many sisters?
I have 2 older sisters. I'm the youngest.
You're the baby.
3 girls. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so how many nieces and nephews?
4, 5, 5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a
Did you have
mixture.
fun with them?
Oh
Did you do
yes,
that?
we all live right here. We're all very close. Everybody lives within 20 minutes of my whole
Oh,
family.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So how has the whole COVID thing, have you been able to see them at all or no? But now
Yeah.
maybe more so than before.
Yeah, because we're all super cautious people,
Yeah.
and a lot of us have the benefit of working from home, and my parents
Mhm.
are retired, so it's like when we would get together, no one had been out of the house. And
Right.
so we would still social distance, but
Right.
we were lucky enough that we could get together. We would sit outside. We did Thanksgiving outdoors and had separate tables for different households, but we were all still there together,
That's nice. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
had to skip Thanksgiving. We did open up presents,
Mm-hmm.
but socially distanced and with our masks on.
Yes, all of it.
Yeah.
We did the same, masks and all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we missed Thanksgiving just because we didn't want to take our masks off to eat because the house isn't that big.
Yeah.
We don't have the big house, open space house. It's all like rooms.
Yes.
So and it's cold here. We can't sit outside. It's like 70.
Yeah, we had a great day. It was like 75 on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cold, and we actually, like right now, I think it's 7 degrees. So we're getting the polar vortex right now.
Right now it's there?
Right now, it is like super cold.
Oh, we were 80 today. We went up to 80 degrees today.
That's horrible.
I know it's a little too warm for me actually, but yeah.
Really? See, I would love that weather. That would be my perfect weather.
Mhm.
So tomorrow the high is 14, the low is 7.
Oh
And it's
my
gonna
gosh, I feel like
snow.
you guys are just a couple states
I
above
know.
me. I
I'm
mean,
just
it's not
right
even that.
there.
What in the world?
So our low for Saturday, our low for Saturday was -17, but now it's -6. I
Oh,
don't
have
think there's a
fun with
difference
that.
between 17 and 6. It's cold. Anything below,
Yeah, just stay in your house.
yeah, it's yeah, I woke up cold last night and I never am cold during the night ever.
Oh
Like
my
never.
goodness.
So
Yeah.
okay, so we talked about oh, what fad or trend do you hope never comes back, never returns?
Oh, it's happening. It's my worst nightmare. The low-rise jeans.
Low rise jeans, that's coming back?
Yes, it is creeping back in. The rise is slowly getting lower and lower, and that does favors for nobody.
But you know,
Nobody.
the mom high waist pants, I'm
I,
glad that they're gone.
I could deal with the high
Did
waist.
you?
I can, yes, I can handle a high waist. I'm fine. A mid rise I can deal with. No low rise. It's not good for
See,
anybody.
I wear men's jeans because I have no
Okay.
ass. Okay, so I have to wear men's jeans because they fit me better, and so I'm kind of like always on the low rise
You're
type.
such a weirdo. No, they're
Well, it's
awful.
covered and you never see it, right? You've never
No,
noticed that before.
I've
See?
never had a single critical thought about
See?
you and jeans or your fashion. So I think it's working for you, but that's rare. I just think that it's a struggle. A girl in a low-rise jeans just trying to make it work in the world. Don't do
True.
that to her.
Well, see,
Do that
you
to her.
also have to know how to bend over,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. So you're gonna have
that's a big problem.
some mooning action happening, and then muffin top is a real thing that nobody
Yes.
wants to have to deal with. And even the most,
My
flattering of figures is going to deal with that.
Let's see, but when you have like a hoodie on or you have like a sweater that covers your muffin top, which mine is
Sure,
now,
if you're wearing a baggy shirt, but
right?
you can only do that so often.
That's true. But
You're
see,
like, well.
let me tell you, you can do it a lot. Plus, they have like shirts and that are kind of like puffy and so,
It
but I'm
sounds
gonna
like you've got it figured out. So if these low-rise jeans
I'm gonna
storm
show
our
you.
universe and take over, I'm going to use you as my personal
Okay,
guide to how to maneuver them because
I will
or
help
I
you
just need
out.
to start hoarding the mid to high rise now.
Probably,
Hmm.
maybe. See, yeah, I have no butt, and so men's jeans just have always fit me better, and so
Okay.
I go with it. I go with it.
All right. It's maybe
Uh,
a good tip. I'll write that
uh,
down.
yeah. So for the people out there who don't really have a lot, there are a lot of flat butts. I don't know that I'm
Mm,
flat. I just don't think I have one.
okay.
So so the jeans that I wear, the men's jeans, help me with that because men normally don't have butts
True.
for the most part. Yeah. So
True.
for me, I hope that the parachute pants never come back.
I vaguely
And
remember them,
that,
yes.
yeah, the parachute pants and the fanny packs.
The fanny
And
packs
those
are
have been,
they're
yeah,
still kind of drifting around a little bit.
I know. And you know
It,
what? The whole concept is great. The concept of the fanny pack is great. So you can like,
yeah, if you're a carnival worker, I think it's awesome because you got the money right there.
that's true. I mean, it works for some people. And I think the idea is great. I just don't like the look of it.
Yes, I
So,
understand.
like when I travel overseas, I actually wear I'm going to admit it, a thin little tiny fanny pack
Oh
that goes
my
through my belt loops.
goodness.
I know, and it's all
Busted.
plastic because that's where I put like my passport and my cash and like things that because I don't want my purse to get stolen or like my.
I've loaded you up with bags.
I know
Like
you have.
I
I
am your
know
own personal bag
you
supplier.
are.
Like whatever
I get
occasion you need a bag for, I am there for you. So I don't
yeah.
understand why you wouldn't just have one of these bags with you, but we're gonna let it go.
Thank you. But I'm so fearful of leaving something behind. Like I
Hmm.
feel like I'll go to a coffee shop and I'll leave something behind.
Damn
So
it, if you'd had that fanny pack, that wouldn't have happened.
see, that's what I'm saying. That
Solves all the problems.
yeah, so maybe, but I think the look of it, especially when men wear fanny packs, I'm out. I just, you're right. Carny
Okay.
workers are the only ones who should wear that.
Yeah, Johnny on the spot with your change. I'm all for that, but I don't know. There's other ways. There's other ways, people.
I know. Okay, so one of my favorite questions to ask, and I think it's really interesting to me what people come up with. But if you could have a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Either to freeze time or go back in time, because I always come up with, oh, I should have said, oh, when that happened, I should have said this. And I dwell and I kick myself for not having the perfect answer. And if I could just have a little rewind button and like, like on the remote where it has like you just hit it one time and it goes 10 seconds. So I'll be like, I need 30 seconds, 1, 2, 3. If I could have that in life, I'd be set. Or someone asked me a question and I could just have a pause button to like
think about it
and then unpause, and then that would be the total superpower. Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting to see what people say. I like Elle Spencer said the Force. She would love to have the Force.
Okay.
That. So that's
but
interesting.
Let's talk about practicality.
Well, she's just interesting because she said she can mind, not really mind.
Okay, so she's really thought it through.
She really has. Like, she was like, but we can go back to 2016 and tell people not to vote for Trump.
I can do that with my button.
That's true. Nope. So there's that. And I was like, I would use the Force for bad, because I said I would be like undress, things like that. I would be for bad. So I couldn't use the Force. But I actually said I'd want to teleport.
Okay.
Teleport. It's like, hey, I'm gonna come over for dinner tonight, and
here
then I am right there. So
that would be useful and also super practical.
So I'm trying to go for practical and useful,
no
and
traffic.
Also exactly. And plus the whole flying thing, like I don't want to fly, and so not like in real life or having that as a superpower. I'd much rather teleport because that's important, because like then I could be anywhere I want to in a short amount of time.
I like that. I like that idea too. I'm going to stick with my button, but I like your idea.
Okay. I like it though. Okay, so let's see what else. We are you a cat person? You always talk about dogs. Tell me about cats. Do we like cats? Do you don't like cats?
They're fine, right?
Fine. Okay, so that'd be
They're fine. I've never owned a cat. I've never felt drawn to own a cat, but I'm an animal person in general. So I have a soft spot for kitties, and I'm never gonna like. What?
First of all, nobody ever owns a cat. There we go. So you have to change that whole mentality. You have to change that mentality.
Maybe that's why. That's why.
That's probably why.
So I've never spent a great deal of time with cats, but I admire them from afar. I like looking at pictures of people's cats.
Yeah, little kittens are cute.
Yes, kittens especially.
Oh yeah. So tonight,
but definitely a dog person.
Yeah, I'm a dog person too. I went to so like for the Patreon, for what we're doing, we raise a lot of money every month now.
Yes, fantastic.
It really is. And so I have a ton of food, and I'm going to drop it off. But then, so here's the deal. So there's a place here. It's called Shep's Place, and it's for older dogs. It's like a house. And people, they don't live there. They just go there and hang out, and they have like all these dogs. They have like couches and they have televisions, so that the dogs at their last, part of their life, they stay at this house. And so I knew about them on the news from like a year ago. I saw a special, and then it came up again, and I was like, maybe I should donate some of the food that they need. I'll donate it to this shelter. So I'm going to split this month's.
Great.
Yeah. And so here's what I did. So I go to their website and I look at all the old dogs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these dogs are perfect. I love these dogs. I should maybe foster an older dog. And so then I go to the other website it's the Independence shelter, animal shelter. And then I go and they have like all the cats and the kittens and the dogs. So now I'm like, I should foster. And so I know what's going to happen. I'm going to like get 2 cats or something, and I'm going to have them all. Yeah. So.
And it's going to be a foster fail. Come on. This.
It is. I know. Yeah. I know. And that's how they get you. And so, but I think I'm going to go with cats. Like I've had cats. it's good because then I can leave them for a couple days and they're
That's
self-sufficient.
true. They're a little more
You know?
independent.
Yeah, because Molly is 24/7. Like hands down, Molly is 24/7. So I feel like I still need to have a fur baby in my life.
Yeah.
But I also need the independence, and I'll want to like, go places, and one of the first trips, of course, will be Vegas and
Yes.
P-Town, of course, when I get my shots and everything. So, but yeah, but animals, cats, I'm probably gonna go with the cats.
I'm excited for you, a new adventure.
I am too. So,
Mhm.
but that won't be for a while. We'll see. We'll see how Molly does.
Yeah.
She's not a
All
fan
right.
of cats. She's not a fan.
Gotcha.
She's very, it's really interesting because she doesn't care about other animals. Like
Okay.
she is literally scared of puppies. Like she's scared to death of
Aw.
puppys, and it's so cute, because he's tiny little.
Yeah.
It's just the same about cats. But if it's a cat in the yard, oh my gosh, like she's like
Mhm.
so territorial. She just can't stand it. So anyway, so that's what I did today. Was I looked
It'll
at
be
cats.
an adjustment.
Mhm, for sure. Okay, so I know a lot of things about you that other people don't know.
Oh,
I know that you're a very good mime, and I know that you rap. You love rap music.
yeah. I do like to rap.
And I remember we were going to do a rap in P-Town a couple years ago, but something happened, and I don't know what happened. I remember I was going to dress up. I had the boots.
You were going for it.
And for the life of me, I can't remember what song we were going to sing.
Who knows? It might have been one of my favorite go-tos is Run This Town. It might have been that one. I think you were going to do Rihanna on that.
I want to
And
say there was something about
yeah.
Rihanna. Maybe it was the
Mhm.
Eminem Rihanna song. I don't know.
Oh, it could have been.
Yeah. And
That's a
you were
fun one
going to
too.
take Eminem, and I was going to, I don't remember.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but I just remember that I was going to have these awesome boots, and I was going
It's
to
a
come out
shame.
singing.
Yeah.
I know. So,
It's
is
fun.
there any way I can convince you to do a little tiny rap of something that you like?
Can I do it with
Yes.
this is the thing about me. I'm not like a rapper, like where I'm gonna pick up a mic and just start
Yeah.
making stuff up. I
No.
literally am like singing to rap music in my car along with the music. That's
that
a
is
little bit more of
perfect.
my jam. But yeah, so let's see. I could do, what about if we combined love and
Mhm.
did rap in like Broadway
Rap in
together?
Broadway. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
like In the Heights, for example. Do you know
Okay.
In the Heights, like Lin-Manuel can't speak. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did In the Heights before he did Hamilton. That was a big jam of mine. I used to like to rap to that a lot.
Okay.
So what if I
I
did a
say
verse of
I would love it.
96,000? Do you know that song? It's about they're gonna win
Uh,
the lottery. 96,000. Like that? All right, here we go.
I'm gonna let you take this because
I'll
this
just do
is
like a verse. How's
yes. Just
that?
do a verse. I love it.
I
Do a
haven't done
verse.
this in so long. What I might not remember the words. We'll see. Okay, here we go. There we go. If I won the lotto tomorrow, well, I know I wouldn't bother going on no spending spree. I pick a business school and pay the entrance fee. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll stay friends with me. I'll be a businessman richer than Nina's daddy. Donald Trump and I on the links, and he's my caddy. My money's making money. I'm going from po to moto. Keep the bling. I want the brass ring like Frodo. Oh, Mr. Braggadocio, next thing you know, you're lying like Pinocchio. You're scared of the bull, stay at the rodeo. I got more hoes than a phone book in Tokyo. You better stop rapping. You get ready. You're gonna get hot and heady, and you already sweaty. Yo, is that an answer? Shut up, go home, and pull your damn pants up. That's for you, Mr. Frodo of the Shire. 96 G's ain't enough to retire. Not enough to knock your ass off its axis. You have a knapsack full of jack after taxes. There you go.
Oh my God.
That's
Brilliant.
me in my car. That's me
brilliant.
in my car. That's what you
you
just got. It was a
here.
little
That's
sneak peek.
fantastic. Thank you so
Broadway
much.
at its finest.
That was brilliant. I'm like, I will save this forever.
Oh, okay.
This is good. So now I know what's happening in October. I got to get a good song under my
Yeah,
belt.
run this down. You learn the Rihanna parts, and I'll handle the
Okay.
rap parts.
Okay.
And I'll do the Kanye and Jay-Z.
I have a
I could do
microphone.
Jay-Z. Do you?
I have a
Awesome.
microphone, so we'll do this. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it. Okay, well, I know it's late. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I had a good time.
So this is going to be great. The patrons are going to love this. I know that you have a big following, and everybody loves to know more about Melissa Brayden. And since we haven't been in front of people, this is kind of a good way to stay up there and say, give our readers a little something that's different than reading from a book. So I thank you for that. And we will chat soon. So take care, be safe, and have fun. Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye.